transitioned from design into marketing, and that I think few do. But what drove those decision, that transition?
I would say design was my first love, but marketing is my love.
How do you blend in both, and what makes you a better marketeer when you bring in the design thinking process inside?
Design and creativity is basically storytelling.
Just the most might be challenging or something that you really liked, which was the most creative problem that you solved and you were very proud about it?
You don't say I love you, you say chai piyoge. And then we were like, 1 second, let's just tweet it. Anything that happens in your environment and then you notice it and then you use that to talk to the world. I think that's what made me feel very special.
Do you have one archetype that you really stand by, or like a rule book that you stand by, or it depends on the different problems that you get?
Anything where the customer actually can hold it and read it and spend their time. So it totally depends on the medium.
Just wanted to know from your experience in the tech industry and the e-com industry that you've been in, any tips if you were to design a design or a marketing playbook tomorrow? What would be the ethos of it for the startups?
I think just don't focus on branding. Don't try to build a door, try to build a home. Don't make it about the way the logo is looking and stuff like that. Make it about how you are talking to your customers.
Talking your LinkedIn profile, I saw that you have sessions called Create with Arshi.
Yeah.
I will for sure attend the session, but I'm now curious to know, what you, how did that thought come up and what do you teach there?
Now, if I can mix the idea of being creative and thinking creatively without putting that pressure and without giving you 10,000 pages of reading material or whatever, I think my job is done.
Hi everyone, welcome to the episode of Brand New You. Today, we have a person from the world of design with a decade of experience in the creative space, and that is Arshita. Hello Arshita, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, so it's really nice to have you here, Arshita. And you've had a decade of experience in the creative space. I think the audience would love to know a little bit about your journey, how that decade has shaped you, and how that creative thinking has actually embedded you into the person you are today.
So, I started out in 2017, 2018, in the advertising space, right after college, and that was pretty much like a master's for me. I worked with one of the finest people in the industry then. And after that, I moved on to the brand side, the age-old debate, advertising versus brand. Very early on, I decided I wanted to be a part of the brand world and explore that. So I joined Zomato, and over there also I kind of worked with some really cool people from the industry. And I think post that, about 4.5 years later, I kind of got a fair understanding of design but also copywriting and strategic thinking. After that, I moved on to Zepto. Currently I'm working with Zepto, and yeah, right now I think what I'm doing is a little bit of a combination of design, copywriting, creative strategy, and also brand strategy.
That brings me to a very interesting question. You said you transitioned from design into marketing, and that I think few do. But what drove those decision, that transition?
I think so. So I come from this really interesting amalgamation of a father who's an architect and a mother who's into marketing. So very early on, when I was a kid, I kind of knew that I wanted to do a little bit of both. But back then, this industry did not exist so blatantly back then. So I basically eventually moved on to the creative side of things. That was my calling, and I learned design. I was really passionate about it. But I always, at the back of my mind, knew that marketing also interested me.
Hmm.
So I think I think it was just luck. I ended up working in the brand marketing space as a designer. Eventually, I understood the nuances of marketing as well, picked everything on job, saw how my leaders work, saw how marketing decisions are made primarily. And over the past 10 years, I think just with the amount of experience I've had in the brand marketing space, now it comes very naturally to me. But I would say design was my first love, but marketing is my love.
Yes, I think that's really important to have that as your calling or your passion. And when you have something as your passion, you it's very easy to actually blend in, and also it's really nice if you have an itch
Yeah. Yeah.
in your head that you really want to do something. But on speaking on design and marketing, you said that both are contextually different worlds, and you want to bring them together, right? And that, I guess, is the essence of the world today, which is driven by AI. You have so many touch points, but in marketing, there are two worlds, right? One is the qualitative world, which is more driven by the creative strategy thinking process. And then there's this quantitative world. So, how do you blend in both? And what makes you a better marketeer when you bring in the design thinking process inside?
I think so. Design and marketing in isolation are, of course, separate worlds, but when you mix them together, that's when the magic happens, right? Because design and creativity is basically storytelling, and that you will do for the idea of actually that is something that you would do basis the empathy that you have, right? The execution side of things is actually where the magic happens. So basically, when you understand what the customers want, when you creatively solve for what the customers want, when you use design to solve for what the customers want,
Yeah.
and then you use that as a distribution channel, and when you use that to kind of market the this little thing that you've created based on a problem that
Mm.
you identify for your customers, when you solve it and when you market it, that's when you actually put it all together. Because basically, the journey from insight to execution is what the transition from design to marketing is.
Yeah. I think that's a very important thing that you said about insight to then execution of it. And that's where I think the start of a brand narrative comes in, wherein it's not only a visual epiphany that one drives, but it's also a tagline which goes along with it, right? So that is like a visual identity that you create of a brand, and that is an essential element in creative problem solving.
100%. Yeah.
Yes. So, but coming to the creative problem solving, which is the most might be challenging or something that you really liked, which was the most creative problem that you solved and you were very proud about it?
I think there are so many. Yeah. I mean, I'll start with my early years. Uh, of course, when I was learning design, I was purely understanding the skill. But one of my life changing moments was when I was just sitting at home, COVID lockdown, and I was working from home. And I randomly went to the social media team at Zomato, and I was like, okay, so in India, I think you don't say I love you, you say chai piyoge. And then we were like, 1 second, let's just tweet it. Okay. And this kind of blew out of proportion because the minute we tweeted this, it picked up. Now people from Maharashtra came and they were like, in Maharashtra we say this, in Karnataka we say this. Brands came and they were like, we don't say send me the money, we say Paytm karoge. And a lot of the brands kind of came on board, and this kind of became a viral piece for Zomato. And it all came from a real life experience. So I think that will always be special for me, because anything that happens in your environment and then you notice it and then you use that to talk to the world, I think that's what made me feel very special.
Really nice. I think you can talk about it like maybe a user generated content or like a brand generated content that came up on top of what you created as a trademark, right? Or rather your property. But coming to that, really wanted to know. And as a designer, everybody has once you create a piece of content, everybody has their own views. It's very subjective thing. Somebody might like it, somebody might not like it. Do you think validation plays a role for you, or how do you tackle it on a day to day basis in your work?
Yeah, I think as a designer, especially in a designer in their early years, validation would play a role. Because, and by validation, I don't mean, wow, you've done a great job. I mean, okay, hey, somebody is actually, the consumer of my work is actually, you know, interacting with it. And that is something that is a huge win for a designer, because design is not a pretty looking visual, right? It's a visual that's actually making someone who's consuming it interact with it. Someone who's consuming it should actually be able to, it should change something that they're thinking. And that's the importance of design, right? So I think, yeah, that's what is that's what gets a designer going
Designer going.
ultimately.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh, I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe design has multiple different archetypes.
Yeah.
Uh, right? So,
Wow.
some people believe in 80-20 rule, wherein 80% text, 20% visual.
Yeah.
Other people believe other way around. Some might believe in different form of creativity. Some might believe in no visual at all.
Yeah.
What is your do you have one archetype that you really stand by, or like a rule book that you stand by, or it depends on the different problems that you get?
I think design should be treated very medium wise. It should not be that the 80-20 rule applies to every single medium. When you're on the road and you see a billboard, now the attention span of somebody who is driving would be much lesser. So you need to make sure that the content that is, of priority is the first thing that they register. So oftentimes you'd notice that on a billboard, the copy is usually bigger, and the imagery is usually just a part of the copy, right? Because you want your whoever's driving to be able to actually read what it is in like a span of 5 seconds. So now something like a print ad where you have enough time, you can play with it, you can interact with it. Over there, a rule like this would make sense, or a flyer or anything where the customer actually can hold it and read it and spend their time. So it totally depends on the medium.
Got it. We spoke about the archetypes, but now coming into how it feeds into a marketing strategy. And when I'm sure as you've transitioned from design to marketing, there are large teams who sit together and design a campaign. And campaign does not only have one aspect; it also has multiple aspects. How would you amplify it, so on and so forth. So, how do you think that what skill sets of yours are actually helping you in this?
From design, or
From design or your core
okay.
skill sets?
So I think now that we're thinking of amplification of anything that we do, actually before we think of amplification, we think of what it's solving. There are a couple of things that drive amplification, right? One would be pure play metric, which is your CTR and whatever, if it's digital, or how much are people talking about it, the virality angle of it, right? That's one metric. But now, if the intent is metric, then anything that we do by default is kind of done in a way that we know that, okay, fine, this has virality potential. Now nothing, it's not set in stone. It's not like if I'm saying that this has virality potential, it will have virality. This is everything is honestly just hit and trial in the marketing space. A lot of times, in fact, when people come in, they say that isko viral kar do, wo nahi hota hai viral, because like the more you force it, the more it doesn't really happen. But what something that I've learned from my current manager is that we should drive earned media through really going cultural and deep, right? So when you're talking about amplification, I feel it is a byproduct of the work that has already been put in. Now, how to distribute is the thing that we then decide to do, right? So most times, if it's earned media driven, we will try to put it on the internet, and then we would let it take its course of time, especially something like a billboard. Now, just to get more specific about how you would think of amplification for something like this, I would 100% do a billboard, but then I would also put it on the internet. I know that the intent of something like a billboard is more on ground, but if you want to amplify it, you need to take it on the internet, right? So I think that's where you'd like juggle between, again, medium specific marketing. Eventually it's either earned media or business conversion. These are the only two things that you would then
You would
plan.
try.
Yeah.
No, I think totally understand, and I totally get you on the virality aspect. I was a marketer, just transitioned into partnerships. But when somebody,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
when somebody comes and says, "Can you make a campaign and can it go viral?" I
Yeah.
have the same expression that we really do not know when we are actually building a category. We should actually make content that is actually consumable by consumers, and
Yeah.
then we solve for the intent, and then of course if people like it, then they tweet about it, they take it forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's always the intent.
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
So I think in India, if you were to look at content currently, earlier marketers or designers used to make content just plainly, but now I think it's more on experience of content than consuming content. And content becomes a part of your UI UX content, and the way it looks like, it becomes a part of how apps are designed, how tech apps are designed, how archetypes are designed, how workflows are designed, etc. Right? And it might be a deciding factor in a consumer's purchase. Just wanted to know from your experience in the tech industry and the e-com industry that you have been in, uh, any tips if you were to design a design or a marketing playbook tomorrow, what would be the ethos of it for the startups?
I think just don't focus on branding. Uh, don't try to build a door. Try to build a home. Don't make it about the way the logo is looking and stuff like that. Make it about how you are talking to your customers. If whatever you're saying to your customers, is it coming from a place of you know um telling them to use your platform, or is it coming from a place of making them understand why they need to use your platform? So basically your relationship with your customer is what you need to build, and everything else just follows suit. I mean, if you're like, my playbook would basically be more about bringing that moment for your customer, and that could be a customer sitting in a tier 3 city in India. How are you talking to them? Basically being mindful of the customer and where they come from. You would not want to sell the same kind of construct to a customer in a tier 3 city versus a customer in a tier 1 metropolitan city, right? So understanding and going deeper, that is something that would 100% sell, and more than sell, resonate, I feel.
No, absolutely. I think India has many Indias, and really, when you're building a construct or when you're building a campaign, you're building a narrative. I think there should be one mother narrative, and then, of course, it flows into multiple either regional languages or talk in a very culturally different context as per the zonal
Yeah.
structure that we're talking about
Yeah.
in India per se.
Yeah, so know your customer basically and build your strat around that. That's
Yeah.
my only playbook, I think.
Yes. Perfect. Also, we have almost spoken about successes and the goods of this creative side of the world. Have you ever faced challenges in creative problem solving, and how did you overcome it? Anytime you face that, or maybe it became a stepping stone for you for the next thing that you were going to take up.
I think challenges, of course, come up, especially in a transition like a design to creative to marketing transition. Oftentimes you feel like, okay, you're not like, a specialist in one, you're basically a generalist. But like you said, it's a stepping stone, because now I feel like a generalist specialist um, is the future of marketing. Someone who can do a mix of everything, who understands the nuances of design, but also understands customer behavior, also understands strategy. This combination is something that is now, I feel like it's happening now. Because now companies are also more open to this sort of generalist specialist avenue, right? I think now that that is happening in startups, it's a stepping stone, but of course, it's a little challenging because there's a lot of learning that happens on the go, a lot of technical words that you're like, hey, what does this mean?
Yeah.
But then you learn, right? I mean, that's the whole idea of learning everything. You eventually learn enough, just enough to do what's right.
Talking about learning, I think, Arshita, when I was rather looking or stalking your LinkedIn profile, I saw that you have sessions called Create with Arshi.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think I just had a chance to go through one of the blurb of the post, and it said that, I saw somebody posting about it and saying that you really push their creative limits. You allowed them to think from a different perspective. I will for sure attend the session, but I'm now curious to know, uh, how, how did that thought come up and what do you
Yeah.
teach there?
So, okay, so this is not like your typical creative workshops, okay? This actually came from the thought that after a long week of work, you want to unwind, right? Now, if I can mix the idea of being creative and thinking creatively without putting that pressure and without giving you like, uh, 10,000 pages of reading material or whatever, I think my job is done, right? Now, one thing that I'm truly grateful for is the fact that my community on LinkedIn has kind of, really motivated me, and I've been receiving a lot of people, especially college going students who reach out to me, and they want to know how they can get creative. So the whole idea stemmed from the fact that I want to be able to help. um so yeah, then I started this create with Arshi space on Topmate, and I was like, okay, fine, now people will get a space to actually just jam with me, right? It started as by honestly by fluke on I think one of the weekends on a Saturday, and somehow it picked up. I think this month is the 8th month that I've been doing it. We've built a community of over 100 people, but it's fun. So it's you. And the thing is that it's not a session where we talk much. It's all happening on the chat. So basically, there is a case study in front of you, and then there is a chat box, and everyone is just talking on the chat box, reading each other's messages. It's a whole different world, honestly.
No, really interesting the idea of you, actually co-creating with the other participants
Yeah.
and also giving them skills that, when they are young and they are just out of college and they want to, have a space where they want to understand, or rather professionals who are already, working and they want to relearn or learn a new skill. So I think that's a cool space and initiative, Arshita.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the reason why I think I'm eight sessions down now is because now even if I miss a month, somebody will be like, "Hey, are we not doing the session this month?" So it's nice, it's very motivating to see how the students are also kind of enjoying it.
No, I can reckon seeing the comments and seeing the posts on LinkedIn that you reposted. I think I'm sure the participants must be loving it. Coming to you spoke about things to learn.
Yeah.
I'm sure there might be hard skills and also soft skills in your daily work for professionals who want to straddle between both of these worlds, like the marketing, design, creative.
Yeah.
What are those hard skills or soft skills you think you really hold value to?
So I think one core skill that everyone in the marketing industry, regardless of whether you're a designer or a marketer, needs to be empathy. Once you learn that, then I think you can transition very easily. It's not. I mean, see, honestly, there are so many hard skill courses available on the internet. That's not a problem. The problem is, are you an empathetic person? Are you intentional? Do you actually want to do this for your customers, or do you want to do this for the sake of just adding value to your own career trajectory, right? So with the right intention and empathy, you can learn any hard skill. But the main thing is that you should be able to understand, you should have a fair idea of what your customers want. That's the only thing that honestly is what I've carried forward. Something that worked as a designer, also something that works as a marketer also.
Hmm. And I think, of course, we spoke about hard skills, soft skills, but I think one core thing that one first job that anybody gets as a marketer or as a designer is either as a marketer, you have to give a brief to
Yeah.
an agency,
Yeah.
or as a designer, you get a brief.
Yeah.
What do you think constitutes a brief?
So, the very good question, actually. A brief is something that, see, the word brief is basically firstly, not a full length pager with a lot of information. It's a brief, right? You need to briefly tell somebody what you want. And trust me, this is the one thing that most brief givers struggle with. So, what we tend to do now is just understand the why, tell us the why, and the how we'll figure out. That is, I think, that is the difference.
Nice. I think I should have got this advice when I was starting out, because usually I had to give like multiple briefs out, and I was always struggling as to, what do I want? How do I envision what I want? And will I get that? So I always had that apprehension. But it's good to know that, you really need to answer just 3 questions so that the other person can understand, what you want to build at the end
In
of the day.
fact, oftentimes, if you give a brief and the brief in itself makes you question the brief, one thing that I would actually recommend young creators, designers, marketers would be that question it. If you know the why, if the intent is to do something and the brief, according to you, is not solving it, what will solve it is something that you can also question. So that's one thing that I think we should be able to do.
Absolutely reckon with that. I think the partners that I work with who have come forth and told me that, this does not work. This is the creative. I mean, I'm sure you have insights from your database, but I think this is not the insight. This is the insight. I really value them. And the output has been far greater than, what I actually set out to do. So I think that's the core. But Ashta, it's been really nice chatting with you. Would love to hear, since my audience is more youngsters, and that also speaks to your audience as well. If you were to give an advice to your younger self, what would it be? It can be anything.
I think don't overthink it. Uh, Learn everything. Don't try to put yourself in a box. Magic happens outside of the box, and honestly, don't forget that you're young, and you will make mistakes.
Great. Thanks, Arshita, for coming over. Really enjoyed
Thank you
having
so
this
much.
chat.
This was lovely.
Yes, loved unlocking and unbreaking the world of design, creative problem solving with you, and would love to catch up over a cup of coffee sometime.
100%.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.